was growing up, I was conscious of the fact that most big people have had big tragedies in their lives, especially creative artists. And I used to feel as a kid that how am I going to ever become great because I have a perfectly normal background. So with that thought lingering in my mind at some point of time that you need pain to become something, and that is basically the starting point of Rockstar.
कभी रोटी को नहीं तरसा, दर की ठोकर नहीं खाई। माँ बाप भी अब तक जिंदा है मेरे। कभी कोई बड़ा एक्सीडेंट नहीं हुआ, ना ही कोई जानलेवा बीमारी है।
In this film, the protagonist, which is Janardhan Jakhad, is a person who is not cerebral. He doesn't understand things, he just feels them. He starts off with ambition, but soon when he starts to get around with Heer, he forgets about ambition. Then he's just having a good time hanging with her. Because Jordan is that kind of a person. He doesn't think of why he does what he does. He just goes ahead with it. And therefore, there is a certain power and force in his move. In the way he screams, there is a finality. He just goes for it from his heart, which is why there's a certain loudness, an aspirational loudness to him.
मैं उन परिंदों को ढूंढ रहा हूँ। किसी ने देखा है उन्हें?
It's strange that I had gone to talk to Ranbir about some other film, and I'd met him a couple of times before. I gave him the script to read, and then he started telling me, I've heard that there is a film that you were going to make. It's called Rockstar. One point I was going to make it with John Abraham. Long back, and then it didn't get made. So Ranbir said that I've heard that there is a story where this guy wants to get a heartbreak so that he can become a musician. I was getting more and more convinced while he was talking that this is going to be a good film to make with this guy. Because obviously this film needs a very strong protagonist.
तू और मैं रॉक कर देंगे, बता रहा हूँ। सोच के देख।
Hey, are you stupid?
No, only crazy for you, baby.
Nargis, I wanted a girl to look like a Kashmiri girl, and somebody who had a really large heart. Somebody who, a person like Janardhan Jakhad, say that she is above my league. She is the proverbial heartbreaker of the university.
दिल तोड़ने की मशीन है ये। हाँ?
Sometimes to contextualize what is happening in a narrative, you have to cut into the past or various ways depending on the mind of the person who's kind of telling the story or that you are telling the story through. Jordan's mind specifically also works in a very non-linear way, which is why the film follows that kind of pattern.
मुझे ये सब कुछ नहीं चाहिए। मुझे नहीं बनना बड़ा। मेरा दिल नहीं टूटना चाहिए, खड़ा भाई।
Rahman sir pointed this out. He said that it's not rock only that we are doing in this film. But we were clear that the name Rockstar shouldn't be confused by the type of music that should be in the film. The second thing was that we had to have one voice for Jordan, because that would be pretty much the character of Jordan as much as his face is. Rahman sir suggested that we should go with Mohit Chauhan. So many kinds of performances that he does, starting from just being like a busker to having a huge concert at the end. It becomes an interesting visual because everybody who's there involved in it, including and mostly the rock star Jordan himself, is completely involved with it. What we've done is that we've just tried to make everything look real and non-fake. There are only two tragedies in this world. One is when you do not get what you want, and the other is when you get what you want.